Restoration Church, what's happening? Um, so this leftovers looks a little bit different than most. I'm just doing it with my phone in my room because I'm kind of isolated for the next several days. So you can ask me about that later. Well, although you probably know why. Everything's good, feeling good. Everything's well. So with this leftovers, I did lose my sense of taste though. So I thought maybe for leftovers this week it would be fun if I just ate anything during the leftovers. But we talked about this last Sunday. We talked about the golden rule and how we apply that to our lives. We play loose and with purpose. Jesus straightens our lives, and then we daily choose a gate. And a couple of things I want to bring up in regards to that. Number one is play loose and with purpose. I had mentioned that I know this can be some people can take this as a license to just sin whenever they want to and do whatever they want, and we can't control that. The moments we start to control that or try to control that is the moment we become legalistic, and I don't want to ever become legalistic. And so when I was given the message, we were watching it upstairs, and my son Carson actually, I was talking about that idea of not being able to control people, and some people are going to take this and run with it, and they're not going to look back, and we have to be okay with that. We really don't have to be okay with it, but we have to accept that that's a part of the cost. And my son Carson said that's kind of like the prodigal son. And I immediately grabbed my my computer and wrote that down because I didn't want to forget, because he's exactly right. This father had a lot of riches, and he gave it to his two sons, and the one son wanted his inheritance completely, and all in one fell swoop. And so he took it. The father gave it, he took it, and he ran with it, and he decided to go and live the way that he wanted to live. He every type of debauchery that you could think of, he was a part of. And this prodigal son finds himself in a pig pen, essentially, and eating the slops with the pigs. And then he thought, you know what, I had it better. Even my family's servants had it better than I do, so I'm going to go back there and try to at least be a servant. And he comes back, and he's welcomed with open arms, much to the chagrin of his brother. And his father gives him all this stuff and throws a party because his son had returned. And so that is the essence of the golden rule as well, isn't it? Not getting what we deserve and giving that to other people is what the golden rule is about. I mean, the father probably thought, if I were in his shoes, I would want a warm welcome, and the impact that had made. So the father was living out the golden rule. And then so that's just one case there for you guys. Then I was going to put this in the message. I decided not to, kind of shifting gears a little bit, but I had gotten this message from a friend that she was going to be working on this thing for this whole year, and it was actually something from the '60s. It was called the Birmingham Pledge, and this was during all of the civil unrest and everything. And this was from Martin Luther King. Actually, it was from one of the people with Martin Luther King wrote it. James Lawson, the Reverend James Lawson, wrote it, and this whole idea kind of sums up basically how I would love to see us living. And this might be triggering for some of you. I guess it could be, but the truth is there. And so I just want to read this list. This is something that when you decided that you were going to be a part of the movement of what Dr. King was doing, you would have to sign this pledge and commit to it. And if you didn't commit to it, essentially you were out, I think, if I get all these details correctly. And I just want to read this to you guys because this is really brilliant, really great, and it's a way that we can also live our lives in 2021. So and it kind of has a special place just because of Monday being Martin Luther King Jr. Day and all that kind of stuff. So, number one, this was again, the people had to sign this pledge. Number one is meditate daily on the teachings and life of Jesus. Number two, remember always that the nonviolent movement seeks justice and reconciliation, not victory. And I that one really stuck out to me. Remember always that the nonviolent movement seeks justice and reconciliation, not victory. As Christians, as followers of Jesus Christ, that this movement, the movement of Jesus, seeks justice and reconciliation, and I would go one step further, restoration, not victory. I've said it before, I've said it a few times. Jesus didn't come to be right. He was right. But that was not the purpose of him coming. The purpose of him coming was for justice and for reconciliation and for restoration. Then number three says, walk and talk in the manner of love, for God is love. Pray daily to be used by God in order that all men and women might be free. Sacrifice personal wishes in order that all men and women might be free. It's a tough one. Number six, observe with both friend and foe the ordinary rules of courtesy. I think we could bring that one back. Seek to perform regular service for others and for the world. Number eight, refrain from the violence of fist, tongue, or heart. Number nine, strive to be in good spiritual and bodily health. Number 10, this is the one that I don't necessarily agree with, but follow the directions of the movement. The only reason I wouldn't agree with it is I would say follow the directions of Christ. Follow the directions of Scripture. Follow His direction. We don't follow a man-made movement. We don't follow a cause or any of that kind of stuff that's man-made. We follow the Bible. We follow the directions of God. We follow the directions of Jesus Christ. And when we do that, we live out the golden rule. And so that is the leftovers for today. I hope you guys are staying healthy and safe and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to get back to studying. I've got a lot of studying I get to do now for a while. And we're going to hit the ground running in February when we get to meet back in person and start that Genesis series. But this week we've got some special stuff happening. You're going to want to tune in for that and tell your friends and neighbors and family. All right, we'll talk to you later.